Welcome to Influential Entrepreneurs, bringing you interviews with elite business leaders and experts, sharing tips and strategies for elevating your business to the next level. Here's your host, Mike Saunders.
Well, hello and welcome to this episode of Influential Entrepreneurs. This is Mike Saunders, the Authority Positioning Coach, and today we have with us Jeremy Redman, who is the founder and CEO of V1. Jeremy, welcome to the program.
I am so happy to be here. That sounds, I like that introduction. That introduction, so concise. You've got a voice for the radio, man.
Well, cool. Thank you.
I look back at a couple of the podcasts, and now I'm subscribed. So, this is something that I really think is a terrific fit. I love it.
Good. Well, I thank you for that, and I'm sure that I'm pretty confident that you're the same way. It's just kind of like, let's just get her done and forget all the, pleasantries and all of that. So the first thing that pops into my mind, what the heck is a V1?
Okay, so I'm so glad you asked. So I kind of backed myself into this. So V1 is a version 1, or what would be a first version of your digital product.
Cool. Kind of like a minimum viable product, MVP.
Exactly. So It is exactly that MVP, although a V1 is kind of more a higher fidelity version of that MVP. So when you think when normal people think MVP, I think and other people think it's a clickable prototype, right?
Yeah.
Something to show that you've done something. What we're trying to do is essentially make MVPs in conventional thinking a complete thing of the past. So we actually build launchable apps that look exactly like the people's designs that they give us. We push them to iOS and Android, and it's only a couple $100 a month, cancel whenever you want. So it's so convenient. You just deliver us the designs, we make it. In a few weeks, you have your app. We're trying to get that down to that down to same day, next day.
Wow.
Where you can have a launchable
first of all,
app
from a business standpoint, I think you should have some type of a fun marketing campaign, tagline sort of a thing, like we're the MVP killer, and have people go, what? Well,
dang it. I love that.
You're welcome. I'll bill you later. No, but for real, a lot of people these days know the pivot and the lean startup and MVP.
Yeah.
We're the MVP killer. Because you know what? MVP kind of is that nebulous kind of does it ever get done? And it sort of is, but it's not. Well, if you can knock this thing out in the time frames you're talking about, man, that's an MVP killer.
Right. No, for sure. Oh, dang it. I'm using it.
Take it and run. That's awesome. See, look at that. Brainstorming, masterminding, fireside chat, whatever you want to think about it, just kind of makes people think. So let's kind of circle back around. To clarify, if someone out there has an idea for, is it just an app, like a mobile app, or what type of digital products can you help bring to life really quickly, really easily, without all the brain damage of the typical, building something or hiring someone? And we'll talk about that too, because I'm confident that it's a huge money saver, and it's a huge aspect of, I don't need to know enough about hiring this outsourcer to know whether they're taking advantage of me. This thing is getting done, and I see it every step of the way.
Yes, so that is a lot of you've addressed almost some challenges we're having early on, and some of the things that I'm kind of disguising under my stress. So I'm taking on this, what would be, no one's ever put a mobile app in a SaaS platform before, right?
Yeah.
There's cookie cutter apps out there. No one's ever said, hey, I'm going to pay you $200 a month, and I only want this for 8 months. So, that's normally not even the price that an outsourced Indian team would start for.
No way.
So, it is, I pay when I hire, I've been working with the same team in India. He's a buddy of mine, and I'm actually going to his wedding next month. And I've worked with him for 4 years. I pay him we're talking, when we use him, now we're growing our team here in America and using him as flow over. But I pay him, I think, $3,500 a month. So like, and that is an Indian team. So the outsourcing ability is insane. So, but to address the first question, we build anything from membership websites and membership apps for people where they get their own customized membership website, their app, their mobile responsive web app, whatever the case may be. Like they have online courses, membership websites. It could be any app. There's so far nothing we haven't been able to build in a unreasonable timeline, is what I call it.
Yeah. But unreasonable to the benefit of the consumer, of the buyer.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like they normally, and I started trolling devs because I get like emails that say, "Oh, hey, are you looking for any development resources?" I literally started writing back instead of putting them to spam, or actually replying back and saying no thanks, because I know how that cold outreach feels.
Yeah.
So instead of saying that, I normally say, how much for a dating app, a mobile dating app, straight up.
Yeah.
And the lowest one I've ever gotten, and it's completely outsourced, $15K for just like iOS. So like it is so funny to see the things we're doing for people. But yeah, like we've made a video game for someone. Like that was pretty cool. It was like an online video game. We've made membership websites, like something for a small business, like just a small business order ahead app. So there's anything in between we can kind of make, and we're kind of feeling that out. The last part of your question about like growing and hiring people, where we're a smaller team, we're still about a little under 10 people, but we're growing. We raised a little VC, and now it's kind of, are we hiring the right people? How fast do we need to hire? And I'm personally having to train people, right? So because on top of everything else I do as like the founder and CEO, now I'm in a position where I need to take time out of my day to do things like customer support, because now I'm at a point where everyone in the company is still kind of my direct report, and everyone I've brought in as a customer still kind of sees me as that like account manager almost. So we're going through this period where all the people that I brought on board as customers are kind of seeing like, no, I'm not getting Jeremy's personal attention for $200 a month. So we're trying to grow from some of those pain points and kind of make our product better and improve over the next few months.
So I just absolutely love what I'm hearing, because I think that whenever someone hears, we help make apps, then all of a sudden you're thinking, a comma and a bunch of zeros and confusion, and the end product is not what I wanted. So you've got a product that's an online cloud-based software, SaaS, software as a service, and you can type in, hey, I sure would like to have something that does this, and you're like, oh, do you mean that? And you're like, yeah, and it's like, poof, here you go, and you're like, what? So you make it simple and crisp and clean and low stress, and the price point just is beyond. So
completed convenience, right? Like I've thought to myself, if I was a complete non-technical person, but I had this app idea, this website idea for people, for members, I can go through what's the easiest way for me to build a product, and that would be picking a design, right, from either one of our templates, or just saying, you design it, right, which we do, or on the next page in our like onboarding engine, all you do is describe what you want to happen. Like there's nothing simpler than picking a design and then describing what you want to have happen, and then it happens in a few weeks.
Because sometimes people don't even know how to describe what they want, right? Like in actual terms. So sometimes they're like, well, I kind of like to have it to do this and that. And you're like, oh, you mean, and then from your guys' perspective, it would be, oh, you mean you would like it to do this. Oh, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, that's another thing we're trying to work on is because no one's kind of done this customizable engine before, on a SaaS platform where you just pay monthly, we're kind of going. People are treating us like our own like we're their own personal developer, which is not the case. So people kind of want to interrupt the process. They have an idea, right? And what happens is that idea, when they put it down on paper, is a simpler idea. But then, over the course of weeks, just talking about it now that it's becoming real, 2 weeks in, a week or two before they actually get that first version, the idea is growing, right? It's growing in their head. I want to add this. I want to add this. I want to do this. I want to do this. And part of the philosophy is launching the simple version first and then building on it over time with market feedback. Yeah. So we allow you to do all of that, and there's a philosophy with building digital products that's kind of ingratiated inside the process without you kind of knowing.
That's awesome. But, well, and it kind of goes along the same concept as small wins, or like if you're trying to gain weight or lose weight, when you're doing all this stuff and nothing's happening, it's frustrating. But when you lose that first pound or gain that first pound, now the momentum starts carrying in. So when you see your project come to life, it is like pretty darn close to what you meant. It's like, ooh, that's it. But I wonder if we polished this, added that, tweaked this. Now it's starting to really take shape because you didn't know what you didn't know.
Yes, I love that. It's correct. I love the weight gain. The weight gain loss, whatever it is. I love that analogy because that's what great products, like a great body, is built over time. Yeah. You get to that ideal. You don't get that ideal within it's not healthy to lose too much weight in 30 days. It's not ideal for you to overbuild in 30 days and spend a bunch of money on it either.
Because it could be bloated, it could be unnecessary. Now you go back to all of the MVP things. Well, you do an MVP because you just want to have your customers tell you and tweak it. In fact, have you ever heard of 37 Signals, Basecamp? One of their philosophies that I remember reading is they're like, look, Basecamp is just stripped down and it does what it does, and we get so many people going, I sure wish this, and this, and they're like, thank you. No. Yeah. Because if they did do it, 2 people would use that feature, and it would just become this confusing, bloated, maybe bloated literally, but just random pieces of stuff. So I think that there's something to be said for that.
Absolutely. Simplicity is king. When I design things, because part of my background is UX, UI design, and I take the minimalistic, simplistic approach. If you can't get something done within, and we actually make people define what they want in their definition, their core functions, in 250 characters. And a lot of people come to me and go, well, I need more space. And I go, no. That's the point of all of this. The point is to get out what you need now, put it in the market, come back in 3 weeks with feedback, build other things, make revisions, and go, oh, yeah, these 12 people want to see this, or these 20 people want to see this. See what fits. And 9 months, when you know it's not going to work and you've pivoted 4 times or 5 times, you've de-risked your entire entrepreneurial venture. You can put everything that you've saved, that you would have spent, $25,000 that you would have spent on an app, into marketing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Let's think of something. Let's kind of flesh out a project. What's one that you have seen come through your platform that might be unique or different? That's not just a traditional, this is a plain Jane whatever app. But which one that comes to mind that was kind of pretty unique that someone would go, oh my word, you mean someone typed this in and poof, this came out?
Dude, yeah. So one of the apps that came in the last couple of weeks was an app called MyGuard, or I think he changed the name. It's called Titan now. It's an on-demand bodyguard service.
Oh, so wow.
He came to
kind of like Uber. Like Uber, correct. And you're like, hey, I need a bodyguard in like an hour. And they're like, here you go.
Right, exactly.
Wow.
So then he connects. He's almost built this two-sided market where and we built this to him. We delivered it to him in 10 days.
Wow.
So he's already got partners. This is hilarious to me that this is possible now. So, like, within 10 days, we delivered him the preview. A couple days after that, we delivered him the app on, like, iOS test flight and everything else. So, like, and, you know, he can biz dev over the course of making revisions. So there's that guy, but he's creating this two-sided market. And it's almost funny because in my past, because I'm not technical, I was always out biz deving the dev team. So I was always making partnerships and making pre-sales even before the product was done. So, like, now that's almost impossible to do. So, like, someone like me that's non-technical can go out and sell the product and make partners with the product within a few weeks of coming up with this idea. So, like, because now they can go in a meeting, in a coffee meeting, and say, yeah, look at this app we've built. Look at this. We've done this. And we did this in, well, they can say whatever they want to say. But another app that comes to mind is called Hanglight. We did this a couple months ago. It was one of our first. And this guy wanted to, like, know what people's hanging availability is. Hanging meaning hangout time. You know, like, are you available to hang out?
Okay.
So he created this red light, green light, yellow light, like the stoplight app for people that it updates their status and you can chat with them in real time.
Huh.
And, like, you actually go through it and you can select yellow, which is like, I'm kind of available to hang. So if you see someone that's yellow, you can real time message them and say, hey, do you want to go here? Do you want to do this? Or you see someone that's green, that means, like, yes, I'm ready to hang out, so just message me. So,
and this is all like your circle of friends, like your personal circle to go, you know, who's available to do something. Let's just check it out. Like, oh, red, yellow. The yellow one, I'm not going to go see if he wants to drive an hour down the highway, but, ooh, this person is full on green. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
So these obviously... And these obviously are meant to be monetized. Like the bodyguard one is really intriguing and cool because it's like, you know, they don't have to. You think about Uber. They disrupted the transportation business, and they're the largest transportation company who owns no vehicles. Well, if this bodyguard deal, they can be, you know, the largest personnel bodyguard company without ever having to hire an HR and all this because it's all, you know, gig-based, app-based. So they're looking to monetize that. Somebody gets this idea, and they don't want to spend $50K and hopefully get half an app. They come to you. You do it quick, very, very affordable, and now they're ready to go out and test it and get some subscribers or get, you know, in front of VCs.
I am so impressed with your ability to grasp this because you're pitching it amazing. I can't even, there's not even a great value add.
Well, thank you. So then you can use this podcast episode as your full-on sales tool and just send it out, and there you go.
I am literally going to send this out because we have obviously a mailing list, and then we have our podcast with everyone comes on. You'll have to pop on. So, like, where we get, we get anywhere from 300 to like 1,300 downloads or something like that an episode. And we'll have you come on, then we'll have you pitch again. I'm going to throw this one out to everyone that's on our emailing list. Then we have the two apps that will throw theirs on their email list. So everyone's going to get that pitch. Yeah. I can't believe you were able to grasp it. So
well, let me tell you a takeaway.
Yep, sorry. Go.
I was just going to make one comment about that, which is I literally didn't research any. I just pulled up your website. We're chatting, we're talking, and this is what's hitting me real time. And that's the benefit of what we're talking about with this MVP. So you get your MVP killer, your V1 out there, and it's quick and it's easy. And now you start selling into it if you're monetizing this. And now you're hearing real users say one thing or the other. If there's confusion because that's what's first hitting them, then you need to tweak it. If they're full on talking about this and that and the other, they might say a word or a benefit that you never thought of. So I think that's a huge benefit of being, first to market, all of that you're providing people, because a big barrier most of the time is money and time. They don't have 18 months and 50K or more to get something maybe. And maybe the market opportunity has moved. So I think that it's just such a neat way, way that you guys are positioned.
Man, I really do appreciate that. So much goes into these things, and so often when you're so early, you get a lot of people. I mean, you kind of, when you're building a company and you make these landing pages and you make these websites and you try to put transparency and honesty forward, and like some people I've realized some people will not get it. They just won't get it. They'll want to say something else. They'll want to see something different.
Yeah.
And then you'll get another opinion from what the next person, and some people absolutely get it, right? Those are the people that you're kind of speaking to. Some people just won't get it. I'm realizing you cannot listen to every single person.
Yeah.
Right? We're like, even the people closest to you, you can't, because they're like, well, I don't know, I don't get it. And it's like almost the way I pitch it is, if you don't get it, you're not a customer. Because the best customers we've had know exactly what we give and the value we give. They know exactly the alternative.
Because they've seen what else is out there, and they're frustrated to no end.
Frustrated to no end. We have people that come on our platform, and it's actually sad that one lady I was talking with was like, we spent $8,000 on a product, and we got nothing.
Wow.
Or my best friend, I got a friend discount that said he could make it on iOS for $15K.
Whoa.
That was the friend discount. We got another person that was like $79,000, $46,000, all these things that like a clickable prototype for $14,000.
Okay, so is this a fair question? Given those things you just mentioned there, let's say that someone is listening to this going, oh man, I've got like 2 or 3 kind of ideas, but I've never wanted to dip my toe in the water with all these big numbers, 8 and 10 and 15 or whatever, just to get a scaled down, maybe, possible version. So here's the question. If someone comes on, sets up an account on your platform, what's the amount of money that if they wanted to say, I'm going to give it one whack, 30 days or whatever, and go, I want to see what my idea could look like, even if it's just a mock-up or something. Are you talking X number of dollars and 30 days so that they could go, you know what, I'll spend that just to see what I can do, and then from there, hallelujah, it can be done, so I'm going to move forward? Or it came back as not so much, and I'm not out a lot of money or time. So what's that number?
Oh, yeah, that number, depending on if you have your own design.
Uh-huh.
So if you have your own designs or you want us to design it, that's a one-time $600.
Yeah, big deal.
And you can already imagine that it's nothing.
Yep.
And it's the $300 for the subscription. So you're
$997 for a month includes the full design and the 1 month.
Yes, the $997, the premium one, is no holds barred, anything you want. And
we'll design it. You've got access for a month. So for less than $1,000, someone is able to read your mind, come up with the designs, and start working with you for a month, and you're going to go, wow, this thing could come to life or not. But if you have your own designs, then it's just like sign up for a month, and it's $297.
Correct. Like,
I mean, that's
one thing.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's a no-brainer, Mike.
Yeah.
Like, that's the one thing we have in our pipeline, and this is what's funny. We have in our pipeline over 200 people that have emailed us with like, yes, I'm totally interested in this. I want your help, blah, 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 where we're just now starting to like onboard. People can onboard themselves, but a lot of times they have questions, right?
Yeah, you need a concierge.
Right, yeah. We haven't gotten to the point where we've released hundreds. We're at dozens. So like, because we just soft launched this in February, March, and the team's growing. Obviously, we raised a little money, so like, and we're raising a little more. These kinds of things just kind of spill over on each other. The more events I go to, the more tables I set up, the more people I talk with. They think it's insane that we even have the prices we have, and I go, how long can we keep these? I think, like, the one thing I get from some customers that are like, you got to raise your prices, even the premium you got to raise. I think eventually it would be great if we were able to lower the price or have a lower tier.
Sure.
So
yeah.
It's about getting technology to every single entrepreneur out there that wants it over the next 5 years.
Well, and let's wrap up with this last point here, because I think that here's another aha. Way back in the day, you used to work a job for 30 years, get the gold watch, and retire. And then it became this term called moonlighting. You'd get like a part-time job on the side. And then it became something like, I want to start my own business, but I got to quit my job and pay franchise fees or pay huge money. Well, so in the last handful of years, 10, 15 or so, let's say, it's been so easy, and especially in the last 5 years, to go, you know what, I do want to have a side hustle, and I do want to have a business one day, but I'm going to do a little side hustle and build a little website on the side. I start doing my whatever thing at night and the weekends, and then as money starts coming in, now I can confidently make that little side step to go into my side hustle. Well, to me, this now ties really nicely into that, to go, hey, if part of your side hustle is having that dating app, that bodyguard app, that next disruption Uber type thing, whatever that might be, man, here's the fast track to that side hustle.
Absolutely. Yes. Like, everyone, especially if you have a 9 to 5, you can afford that $200-300 even on a game. It's less than a car payment, right? So you can make your entrepreneurial dream or hustle come true. So, like, it's just about that perspective. Like, do I really want this? I personally, you feel like you got skin in the game as a customer when you're like, okay, I threw this $300 up there, and now I'm going to get this product, in the month. I feel like we're going to build and we're going to iterate on this. And you just want these engaged people. You have time to be engaged, and you have the money to be successful in other areas. At this price point, you have the ability to take the risk. You should be able to risk a few $100s, make a product, and figure it out over the course of 6 months, and you still haven't
not tens of thousands of dollars and figuring it out, because then you start getting frantic.
Right. People go. The price, I'll call it right now for the price, it is the move your ass now price. Yeah. Like, why are you waiting price? Like, why are you at this price? What is it? What am I not getting across to you that this is even worth the risk? Right? Like, even if I were to run away with your money, it's like, there's no other option. There is not. I know this because so many people that think there's competitors out there to what we're doing, and there is not a competitor to what we do. There is just not one. There's not one anywhere on earth that will do it like this, that you can cancel, that you won't be able to, sign a contract, right? So you go, every dev shop is like, oh, I'll sign your contract, but you've got to stay 12 months, right? Or you've got to pay this entire piece before you get your source code. We don't do that. We don't hold anyone's stuff hostage, especially not for premium members. And it's just kind of figuring that out, being it worth the risk to actually take the jump as an entrepreneur. And this is the platform to do that, I hope.
Well, have you ever read the book Go Giver by Bob Burg?
No, I have not. But now I want to.
You need to go get it. It's on Amazon. It's a crazy fast read because it's written in fictional story format. And it's really a beautiful story of how to do business by giving and serving and providing value. And that's exactly what you're doing. You're providing so much value to these people with price points, with advice, with source codes, this and that, not holding them hostage, so that when they go, this is so amazing, I want to take it to the next level, who are they going to ask? Of course, you guys. And then that relationship builds. So it's that giving first that really pans out. So I think it's spectacular. Let's wrap up with this. What's the best way that someone can reach out, learn more, on board, connect with you, or learn more about bringing their MVP killer concept to life?
Okay, I love that. So you can reach me at Jeremy, Jeremy, at yourv1.com, yourvone.com. You can also, I'm on Instagram at thejeremyredman.com. You can reach out to our support staff, support@yourv1.com. You can check us out at yourv1.com. You can build your V1. I'm telling you, I'll help you. We'll help you. We've got the team in place to do it now. These early people get more attention. So, trust me, sometimes it's too much. Sometimes we go in the red. But we need the customer loyalty, the early success stories like the ones I've been telling. So you come on board, we'll get you going. I think that's pretty much it. DM me on Instagram, email
Awesome.
me. Email me is probably the best.
Well, Jeremy, it is so great talking with you. Love what you're doing. Keep up the good work, and I'll watch to see if maybe, there's a section in our brain called the reticular activator where it kind of makes something come back to you if you've seen it or heard about it before. So I wouldn't be surprised if people that hear this, or maybe even myself, it's like, ding, that 2 months from now, this idea comes to mind, well, let's give this a shot, because at V1, I have the ability to give it a try without diving in so deep.
Yes, exactly. I think that, oh my God, that's beautiful, and I want to say this for a second. That is the thing. When we send out some email campaigns or do these other things, and my sales guy gets kind of upset when he doesn't make that sale today, and I'm like, no, what we're creating is an overall brand awareness that we want to be top of mind 3, 4, 8 months from now, even, when they're like, oh, shoot, yeah, I remember that. What was that called? V1, and they Google, and they're like, oh, this was it. Oh, that was him. Okay, yeah.
Boom.
And now they're ready and primed 9 months from it. So it's a long-term game as well.
Yeah, love it. Jeremy, thanks a million, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Mike.
You've been listening to Influential Entrepreneurs with Mike Saunders. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.influentialentrepreneurssradio.com.